Conversations with Nicole. I am here at Bennett Thrasher today, and I've got Jabari with me. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning. Just excited to be here for, what, a third time?
Yeah. Actually, instead of doing this online, we're back in person, so that feels really good too. Before we get started with the conversation, tell everyone a little bit about you and BT.
My name is Jabari Scott, and I am the Talent Acquisition Coordinator here at Bennett Thrasher. I've been in my role now for 2 years, and prior to this role, I actually worked at Kennesaw State University as a career counselor. So I'm used to looking at resumes and cover letters, and definitely excited to be speaking with you guys today. So thank you for having me.
Thanks for inviting us to this beautiful space. Guys, if you have not checked out Bennett Thrasher yet, or better known as BT, everybody calls him BT, go online right now, pause the video, go online, check them out, see what kind of jobs are available. Their space is wonderful. It's easy located to Kennesaw. Nothing bad I could say from this side. We're talking about public speaking and getting comfortable with public speaking in small groups and large groups. For some of y'all accountants, we know that public speaking might not be the most easy thing, right? The first question for today is, how would you encourage students to prepare for public speaking?
Full disclosure, I'm not an accountant either, so
yeah.
I think it's big to let you guys know that the biggest way to prepare for public speaking is to really just challenge yourself and encourage yourself. Like, hey, I want to go above and beyond, and put myself out there when it comes to just being able to speak in front of a large audience. Just to prepare myself mentally, I like to listen to music from time to time, practice in front of others as well, like, hey, significant other, or hey, brother and sister, or hey, mom and dad, do you guys mind just looking over this speech? I have the 5 P's that I live by. Is proper preparation prevents poor performance. So those 5 things overall are very important to just kind of help throughout your time with public speaking. So that's my answer to that.
The more you practice it, the easier it's going to come out, and definitely in front of someone else, so that you can kind of see their reaction as you give it and all the things. I guess one other way that made me think of was they could video it like what we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
And then they could watch themselves. Tips on how to plan for success or for a successful execution.
And you kind of hinted at it a little bit. Definitely try to record yourself. But one thing that I, definitely recommend as well, try to listen to different podcasts, different audiobooks as well. Try to see how other people are speaking when they're presenting themselves in different settings. And that can kind of help things out as far as like delivery, vocabulary, different things like that.
How do you recommend practicing beforehand? Or do you recommend practicing, which we've said yes. Yes, please practice. Do you think that they should just freestyle this?
I like to just write out some key points, some main things. I usually call it my mini script on a cue card, like an index card, something that I can kind of bring to myself, and I can kind of look at it whenever I'm recording myself and just say, oh wait, I forgot to mention this. It's super important to just kind of practice those wonderful public speaking skills. And again, definitely make sure you have an audience, 2 to 3 people, again, to kind of reiterate, just making sure like, hey, there was some things that you were missing, more things you could have touched on a little bit more, so you can get that constructive criticism and feedback throughout.
It's funny that you said the note cards with the bullet points. So I do that too. When I first started doing public speaking, I wrote the entire speech out. I wrote the entire thing, and then I took the bullet points from that, and then just kind of practice and practice. You may want to write it all out. If not, if you can go, my husband would never have cue cards. He's the type that's like, I just have a general idea. It's all gonna go. There's only certain people that can do that. Body language is a big piece of any communication, honestly. What should the students consider with the body language while they're doing this public speaking?
Yeah, body language is extremely important. It's as important as the public speaking part. And 9 times out of 10, usually when you're going to be speaking in front of a large audience or a classroom setting, you're more than likely going to be standing up. Making sure your posture is good, making sure you have that eye contact as well. One thing that an old mentor of mine used to tell me, like, hey Jabari, instead of looking at everyone face to face, if you're nervous, what you can do is just look at the corner of the room and then slowly just move to the other side of the corner of the room. And that's a good way to kind of letting people know.
I like that idea. I like that.
Hey, I'm paying attention, I'm listening, I'm actively, hearing you guys out, and, want to make sure we have that participation out as well.
I like it. The other thing I would say on this too is, and you'd probably 100% agree with me, as you start to, if you record or if you have somebody in front of you, maybe have them give you some tips on what your body language is saying. We talk about this in mock interviews too. Like whenever you do a mock interview, you will notice if whatever your like nervous twitches. So mine's like I will mess with my hair. I don't know what yours might have been back in the day.
I used to sway back
Sway in
and
the
forth.
chair.
Yes, it was
easy one. Hone in onto those aspects as well. My last question for today, and it's so easy, but just what kind of different tips do you have speaking in front of a smaller group versus a larger group?
The biggest thing for both rooms, first and foremost, is to breathe. Make sure you take a deep breath. I remember an embarrassing time where I actually stuttered over a bunch of words because I was just so nervous because it was my first time in front of 200, 300 people. So first and foremost, definitely make sure you guys breathe. Definitely make sure you kind of read the room a little bit, right? So if you know, like, hey, I'm going to Kennesaw State University speaking with accounting majors, you know what, hey, this is what my topic is going to be today. I'm going to talk a little bit about public speaking, or maybe I'll talk a little bit about mock interviews or anything like that. So definitely kind of read the room a little bit and let them know, like, hey, these are the different things that we're going to be going over today. You may want to throw in a slight joke to kind of make everyone laugh.
I love it.
An icebreaker in the beginning or activity throughout the presentation as well. Also do well throughout the large groups as well. So it's just a huge thing that I would say between the small and large groups is those activities and icebreakers, kind of reading the room a little bit.
Guys, that could also go for, it made me think of this, of the virtual conversations that you may be having or having to present on a virtual call. It's helpful. People don't like to just sit and hear one person talk for a very long time. So that is definitely really great advice. Well, guys, that's it for today. Unless you have anything else you want to add.
Go Owls.
Yes, go Owls. Well, thank you so much for letting me come to BT. This has been amazing. Students, if you haven't done it yet, go check out BT's website, see what jobs they have open and apply for them. And we will see you next time. Thanks.